So then, we are good to go. It is round 16 of the Quick Fix British Touring Car Championship. Race 1 of 3 at Croft. Tom Ingram lines up on pole position. The lights go out now, and a good getaway is made by Camish. Is it as good as Ingram's? However, the answer is no. He slots it behind. Ingram covers off the inside line. Down towards Clervaux they go for the first time. It's going to be Ingram who leads the way. Camish slots in second. Doble is third. Up to fourth is Rowbottom, and diving to the inside line. A good start made by Charles Rainford. He's been on his toes, hasn't he? And he's got the BMW up on the inside line. Good getaway by Rainford. Ingram dancing the car through the chicane. Chilton's run out wide, has he? Yes, he skips off the road in the background. There's a BMW in strife. I think that was Rainford too, but it's Ingram leading on that one. Yeah, the car dancing around with not much pressure in the rear tyre. Look, this is where it's quite damp on the braking area here up Proctor, up the inside of Rowbottom. But they all got round turn 1 and turn 2 so far. Nice move by Proctor at his home circuit. The Yorkshireman goes through ahead of the Midlander down Rowbottom, so that puts the Hyundai up 1 place. But Ingram's building a gap already. Camish getting away from Doble, who is under big pressure again. Senna Proctor looking to try to make further progress before the end of the lap as they stream now through the Jim Clark S's for the first time down towards Barcroft. And there, up on the inside line of Mikey Doble, goes down Rowbottom, and Chilton goes past as well. So Doble may have had a moment, and that's what's cost him a couple of places. Yeah, it was a very even start actually at the front. The front all got away together and managed to slot in the first couple of rows in line with each other into turn 1. So that was fine for them. And they get to the end of lap 1 complete. And look at the lead gap. It has come right down. Dan Camish closing on the leader. The BMWs getting into each other there. Look, because Rainford and De Leon are together. The lead gap coming down. Camish closing on Ingram. Third is Senna Proctor from 8th on the grid. Really good first lap ahead of Rowbottom 4th. Chilton 5th. Doble is 6th. Then it's De Leon. Sutton is up to 8th. Rainford is next across the line. And Taylor Smith rounding out the top 10. Dan Lloyd's down to 11th. With this engine worry, and it's certainly hampering the pace as he tries to get it to the end of the race. Yeah, it does appear, doesn't it? This was off the start from Senna Proctor, remember, starting in 8th place. You see how busy it is ahead? Yeah, he gets a good launch. He goes to the inside and boxes out the 2 cars in front of him, uses Rainford as a lever there on the inside. Now, we're going to hopefully see what happens to Chilton on the chicane, because he ducked round the... Oh, Proctor got a great drive off the corner and forced Rainford and Chilton to go wide. And a good run down the back straight, and we saw at the end of the lap he dived up the inside at Tower as well. So yeah, really good first lap from Senna Proctor, who was kicking himself a little bit after qualifying for a track limits infringement. And there's a battle on, as you can see, for 4th. Rowbottom is under attack from Chilton as they come into the complex. At the end of lap 1, though, Ingram was leading Camish by 0.6 of a second. Dan still looking a little bit nearer to the eyes. You look here at Chilton, glued to the back of Rowbottom, up towards the hairpin, in 6th place behind them. Edging his way forward is Darryl De Leon. Not bad progress also from 10th on the grid as there, but Robo has to really cover off the attack of Chilton over the line. The lead gap is down, though. It's just over half a second. Camish, fastest lap of the race. Proctor 3rd, bit lonely. Rowbottom heads to the next battle pack 4th ahead of Chilton. De Leon, Doble. Sutton is 8th still. Taylor Smith's up to 9th, and down to 10th is Rainford. Yeah, evidence of a few cars running wide there into the dirt on the exit of turn 1, because there's a lot of mud on the front of some of the cars, including Rowbottom's car. He's got a lot of dirt on the front. Oh, that could be awkward for Nick Hamilton. And that's Doble off. That's at the chicane. On the exit of the chicane, yes. Yeah, Mikey Doble has gone around. The reason it could be a worry for Hamilton is that flapping bodywork might be a black and orange flag to get him into the pit lane. Mikey Doble has gone round. Whether he fell or whether he was pushed, we'll come back to. Hamilton has got more damage on the front as well as the back of his car. On board with Doble. Just got wide on the exit of the chicane, dropped that right rear wheel into the wet. You'll see it coming in. Got an oversteer already, actually, before he even got to the outside of the circuit. Fortunately, the car just gently nudged into the tyres, and he should be able to continue. And he will be very cross with himself after that. Nick Hamilton has come to the pit lane with front and rear damage, so it could be a long stop for Nicholas Hamilton as the leaders then come up towards the hairpin. Ingram is under attack from Camish. And then 3rd is still Proctor, 4th and 5th, Rowbottom, not really shaking off Chilton. Darryl De Leon is closing a little bit on him next in the queue, so it's almost 3 of them now for that 4th place. What about Ingram to Camish? 0.6 of a second, margin stretches. Ingram, new fastest lap. We're now down to a 1:24.055. Every lap is quicker by every driver as the cars get lighter and the road dries. Yeah, importantly though to note the amount of boost laps available. Neither Ingram nor Camish have used a boost lap yet. Ingram has 2 laps and Camish 3. Proctor behind them has 8 laps of boost available to him. Will he be able to use that and close up?
Be anticipating he'd start to use it after the halfway point, where he can almost do every lap as a boost lap. Meanwhile, this is on board then with Dan Camish. That gap has stretched a little bit, hasn't it? Dan still really pushing. Goes now through that Jim Clark. Yes, it's another snap there, but he controls the car. Ingram on this lap, however, is edging away.
Yeah, he's definitely getting away a little bit. That marker post there at the exit of the Jim Clark. Yes, oh, there's another one goes there, about as much use as a chocolate teapot.
Dan Robotham keeps at bay Tom Chilton through the second part of Sunday. They go, and then will run up the straight track, drying out all the time. You're right about the front of Robotham's car, sort of rallycross style. It's all rather grubby. The leaders are coming into the complex. This is the fight, remember, for fourth place. Chilton all over the back of Robotham in that Napa Racing UK Canter Clean Ford. Senna Proctor a bit lonely in third. He's not making progress yet onto the back of the leaders. It's all very well saving the boost, but the danger is the leaders get away by too much. Ingram to Camish has really opened up though. 1.3 seconds now is that margin. Another fastest lap from Tom Ingram as there. Chilton thinks about another move back on the inside of Robo. Down towards Clevo corner, can't do it. Who else is moving up the pack, if anybody? This time around, the order remains the same. There you've got Chris Smiley on the harder tyre, fending off Dan Lloyd, so that's for 11th and 12th places. The best of those on that harder, slower tyre, still Ash Sutton. He's up to 7th from 11th on the grid.
Yeah, and that's a good performance on the hard tyre, which is about 3/4 of a second a lap slower, albeit in purely dry conditions. There was a lot of talk in the pit lane about car setup. Do they go for a half wet, half dry setup? Look at the dirt on the front of these two. I think in fairness, they all went pretty much to a full dry setup, maybe with an adjustment on the brake bias knob in just to tweak it a little bit to the rear at the start of the race, but they'll all be fully dry setup now.
This is for 8th. It's Charles Rainford up the inside of Aaron Taylor-Smith. Lovely move coming down through Barcroft. You've got to be brave to do it there, and you've also got to get up pretty early in the morning to put a move over Aaron Taylor-Smith, and that was Charles Rainford, really incisive, going well. We used to talk about Croft as a BMW circuit, and this is why.
Yeah, very much so. I'm not sure that looked very much like a boost pass to me, because the extra speed he was carrying was huge, wasn't it?
Nicely done, and it's worked for him. Charles Rainford goes through. Now there is Senna Proctor. I just wonder whether Robotham might not be a little bit closer to him this time around. The gap is 1.4 seconds, and yeah, Robotham fractionally faster.
Yeah, definitely. The two restart Hyundais right side by side there of Lloyd and Smiley.
And as they came over the line, it was Dan Lloyd back ahead. He's been 3 times a winner at Croft in the past. His first touring car win came here, and then remember he did a double, the meeting after his big accident at Alton Park in a Hyundai. So Hyundais have had race wins here in the past. The team accelerates iteration rather than these restart racing cars. The team new to the Hyundai chassis this year, and now Smiley under attack from Gordon Shedden. Shedden is 13th, having started 17th.
Yeah, clearly there's no problem now with Dan Lloyd's car. The engine worry leading into the race after qualifying doesn't appear to be an issue. Maybe his first lap pace was just a little bit of caution on the damp track, but he's flying now.
Still in the pit lane, Stephen Nicholas Hamilton, and Dan Camish is on a mega lap because he's done, or had done, 2 absolute best sectors. Now the second sector is taken from him by Dan Robotham, but as it stands at the moment, coming through the hairpin, it is Tom Ingram leading the race, and he would put himself into the championship lead ahead of Ash Sutton if things stay as they are now. Ingram goes through, Camish behind him. New fastest lap of the race by Dan Camish, and he's closing on the leader. The gap is down to 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, so that was a good lap by Camish, but crucially he used he lost his boost on that lap to do it. So they now have 2 laps each left on boost.
Battle on here. Look, Adam Morgan versus Dan Lloyd. Hard tyre Morgan, soft tyre Lloyd. Up the inside goes Dan, rebuilding his race, and he's going to go through into the top 10. So good move by Dan Lloyd. Goes through in that quicker shod car, the better softer tyre.
Yeah, the hard tyre is a real struggle. Sutton's still leading that in 7th, which he'll be reasonably happy with, but he's 1.2 seconds behind Darren de Leon.
And there you can see Chris Smiley now trying to get up with Adam Morgan. They are both on that hard tyre, are they not? So it's an even fight, if you like. And Gordon Shedden is right there behind them, and Sheds is on that harder tyre as well. So all running the same type of Goodyear tyre in this race, and very evenly matched coming into the S's.
And the drivers all know what the other cars are on. They have a sheet on the grid that will tell them what the others are on, and the engineers, trying to nip it up the inside there. Shedden tried through that last of the lunges up the inside into Sunny In, but didn't quite get it done and backed out sensibly rather than have contact.
Senna Proctor is being given a driving standards flag for track limit offences, so they're going to start to be careful now, because if they rack up, you're heading in towards penalty territory. Behind this group, 14th is Aidan Moffat there, look, and in the very background, the battle going on behind James Dorlin, I think, was dropped behind Dexter Patterson. Dorlin on the hard tyre, Patterson on the soft. The race leaders have started lap 8 out of 15. It is still Tom Ingram ahead by 1.9 seconds. Ingram has done another fastest lap of the race last time through in this rather elasticated gap for the lead.
Yeah, definitely Senna Proctor's got to be careful. You don't want to pick up a time penalty that will drop him down out of this podium position, because if he finishes on the podium but gets this time penalty, he would still have to go into race 2 on the hard tyre, because it's a penalty not based on his finishing on the road position.
Down towards Tower, there is Chris Smiley. Gordon Shedden right up behind him. This is the battle for 12th place. If you're thinking they're a long way down for two quick drivers, well, part of that is down to the hard tyre. They both were victims, though, of losing good laps yesterday for track limit offences. Smiley having to get his elbows out to keep Shedden at bay. It was here a lap ago that Gordon pulled the pin, if you like, and made a really late dive to the inside, heading into the first part of Sunny. Doesn't do it this lap. Up front, meantime, Ingram is still building that lead, it would appear. It was up to 1.9 seconds last time over Dan Camish. There they are, coming up towards the timing line now. And the margin really shoots up 2.6 seconds. So Ingram gets away. Doesn't do an improved fastest lap, but he really has stretched the margin.
He has. He's really pulled the pin at the moment. And I just caught out of the corner of my eye a lunge up the inside from Sutton on De Leon at the final hairpin. There it is. De Leon giving plenty of room, and that's moved Sutton up to 6th place.
And of course, he's the best of those on that hard tyre, and that helps for the championship as well. I know we're a long way off the end of the season, but we're at the start of part 2, and people are thinking about the title race even more. So there is the charging Ash Sutton, and of course, if you think this is quick, he's only going to get quicker, because he's got the hard tyre out of the way as soon as that checkered flag falls.
Yes, he'll be looking forward to races 2 and 3, and of course the other thing is he gets more boost.
Yeah.
You know, he started this race with only 1 lap of boost, so by moving forward, he will actually gain boost for races 2, because the winner of the race that has the minimum, that'll be Ingram at the moment.
Well, indeed. So Tom Ingram is the leader by 2.6 seconds. There is the Chris Smiley, Gordon Shedden battles. Gordon Shedden, it was, using a lot more curve coming through the Jim Clark S's down towards Barcroft. Wheel lifting from Chris Smiley as the Northern Irish driver turns his way through. The Scottish driver, Gordon Shedden, looks for a way up the inside. No real gap there, but he's absolutely on the back, maybe in the back of the Hyundai now. The Restart racing car grows in width. Smiley covers off the inside and the outside line. Shedden, though, tries to go around the outside into the complex. The inside line for the next part. Smiley goes wide. Shedden gets up alongside him. Now Smiley has the road come to him, remember, because this puts him on the inside line. And now it's going to be a drag race down towards Clairvaux. And the Hyundai is ahead coming off the corner. Good battle.
Really good battle, really close racing. Shedden might be able to get all the way around the outside. He's trying to go around the outside here, but the Smiley's too experienced to allow that one to happen. Oh, no, they've touched.
Smiley hit the curb, came across the front of Shedden. Smiley off the road. He just clipped the curb, didn't he, going into Clairvaux? It unsettled him and he put him across the front.
You read that perfectly, David. It was that clipping the curb that just moved him across and into the front of Shedden's car. And that turned himself round. That was not Shedden's fault.
And you can see the damage on that right rear corner. Tiny little error, but out of the race, seemingly, is Chris Smiley. And with the car in the gravel at Clairvaux, could we be looking at a neutralisation?
Well, we could be. It's a dangerous spot and there's very little runoff there, so that if he can't get that going, the safety car is out.
So, safety car called, and the cars make their way then to the end of the lap. The safety car is deployed, and that's going to bunch it all up and make a really interesting restart. Yes, there is Chris Smiley's stricken car, and as Tim was saying, there's not much further margin. You can't really leave the car there. If one can go off, another could.
No, it'll make the rest of the race interesting, though, won't it? Just what we want.
Yes.
But Smiley will be very cross. He was very unhappy about the track limits penalties he got in. Here we get another run. Look at it. So he's just in front of Shedden here, but Shedden will go to the outside as they approach the corner. He has a small overlap, but he's not really trying to go round the outside. Now watch for this angle. Smiley will clip the curb. That will bounce him across. Ooh. it rather than bounce him off, it slowed him up, didn't it? It slowed him up, and that's what meant that Shedden went into the back of him.
Here it is from another angle as the cars go to Clairvaux. Smiley just touches the curb. It did slightly move him across the front of Shedden, but either way, sad to say, out of the race. And there is a really frustrated Chris Smiley, and that's going to put him, of course, at the back of the grid for the second race of the day.
Yeah, he was, as I said, he was unhappy after qualifying about track limits penalties, but then when he saw the actual evidence, he took it back. So maybe he'll be cross about Shedden, but when he sees the evidence again, he'll think, oh, okay, maybe it was a little bit of me. But yeah, that little inside curb can really destabilise the car.
So the safety car is on track. It'll be our 10th appearance this year of the safety car. Here it is, the whole thing coming.
Yeah, here I thought Shedden could get all the way around the outside because of the obligation to leave room on the outside. I thought he might be able to get all the way around the outside, but he didn't. But they were very even down the straight. And as I said, Shedden wasn't really trying to go around the outside. He was just trying to slot in behind. But just watch. Clips the curb, moves out. It's just exactly where Shedden has got his car, isn't it? But just, it was unfortunate. I mean, definitely unfortunate.
And if Shedden hadn't been there, he'd have just gone slightly offline and made the corner. But because that put him into the path of Shedden, you see the result. Right then, safety car on track. Dan Camish thinks whoopee because the lead gap's going to come down. And because the lead gap comes right down, Tom Ingram thinks rude words. Yeah,
but you know what? Ingram knows he's got the pace on the restart, and I personally think Camish knows it as well. Look at the mud on the screen, but you daren't put the wipers on because it just smears it everywhere, so you've got to live with it. There's no way you could risk putting the wipers on. They don't have washer bottles or fluid to clean it, so it's not worth... you only put the wiper on when it's actually raining, not to clear anything like that.
And there is Chris Not Smiley walking back with the crowd at Clairvaux having applauded as he got out of the car, but hopefully not too much damage for the Restart Racing squad to sort out. So Chris Smiley getting a good reception as he walks back past the fans, but he'd rather be having that for being on the podium than having this walk back out of the race. So as soon as the car is out of harm's way, we will go back racing. Remember, safety car on track allows 3 as a maximum number of laps to be added on, so we could be up to 18 as the maximum, depending on how long it takes to sort out the incident. And when you're talking around a minute and 20 seconds to a lap, they do come round rapidly. In other words, we may be still eating into laps. Oh no, lights are out, so we are going to be at the end of lap number 12, back racing, and we'll see how far we can get.
One beneficiary of this is actually Ash Sutton, who was 5 seconds behind Chilton. Now we're right on his back. Remember the new restart procedure. They can't go when they like. They have to go once they're round the final corner and past the restart line.
And Sutton, is that with a problem? It is. Ash Sutton has slowed right down. Has he got a puncture? He has. The front right has gone down. So Ash Sutton, rather than being helped, is massively hindered. We go racing, and this couldn't be at a worse time because he's got to pit under green flag conditions, not safety car conditions. So Ash Sutton, championship leader pre-race, in the pits with a puncture. That's brilliant news for Tom Ingram. And as the cars come through now, do we need to be looking at the rest of them on a hard tyre to see what they may be doing, or is that just a freak for Sutton?
That is from a curb strike, because it's the right front, it's the left front that takes all the punishment here, but the right front gets caught. When you cut across the inside of the curb, the tyre can get a failure in, so I think that will be from curb cutting on the right-hand side, not from anything across the left-hand side from wear.
Right, he's about to rejoin the race then, so Ash Sutton needs to stay on the lead lap. The car hesitates. He may have stalled it as he tries to get going, but he should be able to rejoin, but he'll be out of the points, and that could well be one of those moments we look at come first weekend of October as pivotal in the championship.
This will definitely be a massive, massive championship moment. Remember, the points were incredibly close.
The car's gone back into the box, hasn't it? The wheel was there. They were having a look under the engine bay as well. Maybe it got a bit hot as well. However, that could have been under the safety car. The leaders are coming up towards the end of the lap. This is Senna Proctor. He's third, and he's still trying to go after Dan Camish, who, of course, finds himself ready to have a go at Ingram through the hairpin, but Proctor is under attack from Dan Robotham there, although Robo just drops a length coming off the hairpin over the timing line. It's a 17-lap race now, and 13 are in the book.
Yeah, there's a few corners. This first corner where the right front goes across the inside of the curb, and as it comes back on across the edge of the curb, it's quite a sharp edge, and that's one of the places where you can catch yourself out on the tyre.
The way the gap's opened up though pretty rapidly in a lap and a bit, hasn't it, as the cars make their run again down the back straight, as it were, down towards Tower, which is here turn 6, and that's Ash Sutton rejoining, but now a lap down, so even if people drop out ahead of him, he's off the lead lap.
It's pointless, isn't it? But yeah, very unfortunate. And commentator's curse, just as I was saying, one of the beneficiaries could be Ash Sutton.
So back out he goes. So the only purpose you could argue to go out would be to get the fastest lap, but on the hard tyre, that's not going to happen either.
No, exactly. It is a pointless exercise. He's just going out checking the car, I guess. But yeah, he'll rue that mistake, I think.
Wouldn't it be awful though on his final few laps if he were to get in the way of Tom Ingram and help Dan Camish out? Wouldn't that be awful? It's
not going to happen, David.
He's.
I know you love a good story and a conspiracy, but it's not going to happen.
He's a long, long way back, I'm afraid, in terms of helping his teammates.
That was Rainford running very well.
Yeah, Charles Rainford coming into the complex. Right, let's go to the pit lane. Lou has news, I think.
Yeah, news on that. Ash Sutton just checked with the team what the problem was. It was basically a glitch with the power steering that we saw them try to push him back and it wasn't working. Glitch with the power steering. They've recycled the engine, cured that issue, so he's on his way again. But obviously, huge amount of time and more importantly, positions lost.
All right, thanks, Lou. Yeah, so sort of double whammy for Ash Sutton. The first one was the puncture and then the power steering, Brendan. That was why the car seemed to hesitate, and then it went back into the sort of herringbone formation in front of the box. Have a look at the front of Dan Rowbottom's car. He's still close to the back of Senna Proctor, and I just wonder whether there might not be something stuck in the front. And yeah, you can see something has been scooped up. It's one of those corner markers. Is that going to affect overheating?
He should be okay. He should be okay. There's still quite a lot of air intake there, but it'll certainly be running warm. The temperatures are up at the moment, but he should be okay. It's not like when the grass fills it and it blocks it completely. But yeah, it's one of those corner post markers.
Yeah, and he's not sort of falling back from Proctor, is he? He's still got good pace. He's got a dirty car, but he's still got good pace. Tom Ingram, in the meantime, is rebuilding that lead once more. He's heading up towards the end of lap number 15 as they turn now off the hairpin, heading up towards the line. And there, look, is Dan Rowbottom getting into the back of Senna Proctor, giving him the hurry up, coming through the hairpin. To the timing line they come once again. It is Ingram to Camish now with 1.3 seconds between them and 2 laps to go. Senna Proctor is third, Rowbottom is fourth, and Chilton is fifth. And this is how Dan Rowbottom scooped up the marker. It was going there, look, through Barcroft, or sorry, out of the Jim Clark S's towards Barcroft. So he found it there. Gordon Shedden now driving standards flag, and also Tom Ingram for track limits. So the leader, with a lap and a half to go, has got to be careful.
Yeah, but he can get this home without risking any further track limits infringements, I'm sure. He'll be absolutely delighted. You know, as a competitor and a championship rival, to see your rival have misfortune is great news for you. It's an absolute hammer blow for Ash Sutton's championship aspirations.
So right now, Tom Ingram is on target, it seems, for win number 3 of the season and for win number 36 of his career and for the championship lead, because not only did he get the point for pole and he'll win the race, he's got the fastest lap point and the lap leading point. So this is the perfect start to the weekend. The fact that Ash Sutton is going to be out of the points is the icing on a very large cake for Tom Ingram as he comes through the hairpin for the last but one time. The end of lap number 16 beckons. Here he comes. Camish is still chasing, but Ingram just now has to bring it home.
And at the moment, it's Dan Rowbottom in 4th place. He'll be in the catbird seat for race 2 because he'll be the first car that starts on soft tyres for race 2. As Ash Sutton proved at Alton Park, that's a hugely beneficial situation.
Indeed, and now maybe Dan Rowbottom is perhaps less determined to find a way past Senna Proctor, thinking forward to the rest of the weekend, the rest of the day. He has still got Chilton behind him. Then you can see Darrell DeLee on 6th. Aaron Taylor-Smith doing another good job in that Toyota Gazoo Racing UK Corolla. He runs currently 7th. It's Charles Rainford in 8th. It's Dan Lloyd 9th. And Adam Morgan 10th. And Morgan is the leading hard tyre runner. Last lap.
Last lap and a fine drive by Ingram. He's controlled the pace of this race. Camish didn't have anything for him. Tried hard, but didn't have anything for him. Boost didn't play a part in their battle. Ingram also has the fastest lap, which he'll be very happy with.
Yep.
Good drive by Proctor as well. A podium at his home circuit, fantastic.
2/3 of the podium from Yorkshire as well. Dan Camish for second, Senna Proctor for third, although Rowbottom was catching back up again, but he'd be advised to sit there and get rid of the harder tyre going into the next race. So through they turn, and it's going to be Tom Ingram then to take the championship lead, to take the race win, and the Team Virtue Hyundai then now comes out of the hairpin, heading up towards the line. The team gets ready to celebrate. Tom Ingram wins race 1 at Croft. Tom Ingram wins the first race of the day with Dan Camish second, Senna Proctor third across the line. Then it's Rowbottom, Chilton and De Leon to round out the top 6. And another really impressive drive by Tom Ingram, winning by just over a second. And Dan Camish second, Senna Proctor in third.